June 10th regular meeting of the Forest Hills Board of Education. This is a meeting held in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a community public hearing. There is a time for public comment during the meeting as indicated in agenda item 10. If you would like to speak during the public comments, please fill out the comment cards that are over at the table near the entrance where you came in. They will be picked up right after the superintendent's report. Now, would you please stand and join Jeremy Cox as he leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you all to the Fine Arts Center for our annual end of the year board meeting. I am Jeremy Cox, the manager and technical director here at the FAC. The 23-24 school year around here has shown us both regular consistency as well as change. One big change was the interim superintendent. Thank you, Dr. Schubel, for filling in for the 1 year while we search for a new suit. Thanks for keeping us in check with our district's guiding principles. We will be welcoming Mr. Ben Kirby here in just a few short weeks. Another big change around here that happened 2 months ago was the opening of the new admin building. Despite the extra workers, electrical issues, a few days off here with no power, alarms, and even broken glass, it has been a nice addition to the campus. Another change coming up will be the addition to the new transition space here at the end of summer. Change doesn't need to be a bad thing. Many teachers, principals, and directors have retired this year. Many positions are changing around the district, and that can be a good thing. The constant that we have come to rely on is the schedule for this building. I can sum it up in one word: busy. From the beginning of July 23 to the end of June 2024, we have had numerous choir, band, and orchestra concerts for 6th through 12th grades for all schools and many elementary musical programs, all still live streams for family convenience. Other student events like FHC Inspires, Project Next Cafe Gala and Senior Capstone Projects, mock interviews, 2 talent shows, college planning nights, and even senior celebrations were held here. More meetings than I can count. Well, actually about 225 to be precise. Instruction, HR administrator, foundation, PBS training, AP student testing. We're a very high demand site for meetings. More than 390 community classes take place in 1 year in our dance studio and art studio, almost up to 19 a week. Fitness classes like yoga, strength, core, ballroom, and country line dancing, and other interests like American Sign Language, painting, drawing, and molding, all can be booked through our community service system. 7 art exhibits and receptions allow us to showcase local artists like the art you see behind you and bringing all their art to the community. We've had many rentals here as well, 31 in total. 2 productions of the West Michigan Youth Ballet, Kendall College of Art and Design's commencement, GVSU Kirchhoff School of Nursing recognition ceremony, the Grand Rapids Symphony Orchestra, and Opera Grand Rapids, and monthly U.S. naturalization ceremonies with over 2,000 naturalized citizens this year, averaging over 200 a month. And reminder, these are open to the public, and they're a very fun experience at least once. 2023-24 brought 3 professional touring shows to the FAC stage, and we also had 3 outstanding high school musicals and the ever-popular Summer Stock production, which is coming up again, so get your tickets soon for Newsies at the end of this month. This year, we will celebrate our 20th year of FAC, bringing the arts to the students and community in Forest Hills. We have upcoming touring shows, including a Broadway, a holiday show, and a comedy show. Look for announcements soon on those shows. Thanks for continuing to support our shows, our artists, and all of the students who love performing on the Fine Arts Center stage. Kristen?
Thank you very much, Jeremy. This is an absolutely amazing facility, and we're glad that it is so well used and well loved within our community. All right, we are up to our presentations. We have the honor of presenting several awards here to members of our athletic teams who won Michigan State Championships this spring. So if I could please invite Jonathan Goey and Corey Anderson to come up to do the honors.
Good evening, and thank you for having us, and thank you for allowing us to recognize our wonderful student athletes here. We just have two athletes that we want to recognize tonight. One of them, unfortunately, could not be with us here tonight, but I do want to just make sure I recognize her, Lily Ullman, who is our Division II singles state champion. Lily was an all-conference player for all 4 years of her high school career. She was all-state honorable mention as a sophomore and all-state as a junior and senior. Had an overall record in the last 2 seasons of 55-4, winning back-to-back state championships at #1 singles. Lily is an excellent student, maintaining a 3.7 GPA, and she is going to be heading to the University of Vermont next year to continue her academic and athletic career. Lily also wanted me to make sure that we congratulated our friendly neighbors at Northern for their team state championship in Division II, which you'll hear from Mr. Anderson here in a moment. And then next up, who is here tonight, if I could ask you to please stand and come on up and join me, is Brooke Bowers. Brooke is our Division I state pole vault champion. There's a little bit of a list here, so bear with me. Brooke won this year's state championship by clearing a height of 12 feet 9 inches. That is, however, not her personal best. She has cleared 13.3 outdoors, which is a school record, and 13 feet 8.25 inches indoors, which is an indoor state record. She's been an all-conference athlete all 4 years of her high school career, a 4-time conference champion and a 4-time regional champion, and has also been all-state all 4 years of her high school career. She is also a New Balance All-American and the 2024 indoor state champion. Last week at the state meet, she completed the repeat as back-to-back Division I MHSAA state champion. A phenomenal student athlete in every sense of the word, Brooke also excels in the classroom, maintaining a 3.5 GPA. She was also an integral part of our One Hat student leadership team, which focuses on improving our culture around athletics as well as within our school. She is heading to Grand Valley State next year to continue her academic and athletic career. So please join me in congratulating Brooke on her accomplishment.
Congratulations to our athletes in Forest Hill Central on their state championships. Board of Education, Dr. Schubel, thank you for having us here today. At this time, I'd like our girls tennis team, if you guys could come up to the front, please, and coaches as well. Why don't you go on the side there, so that way the board can see you and our audience. All right, thank you for coming up. First of all, I'd like to say, Northern has a rich tradition in tennis, and this team, from the beginning, worked their butts off to represent Forest Hills Public Schools and Forest Hills Northern in a class way. They represented their families and did an awesome job. Not only are they champions on the field, they're champions off the field. Academic All-State, they've done an awesome job from that standpoint. A couple other things, a couple individual accolades. One that I want to bring up is Ryan Morey. Ryan, if you could raise your hand so everybody knows who you are. Ryan is undefeated in her high school career in tennis. Her 118 wins is a state record for the MHSAA for consecutive wins, and obviously 4 state championships, that's a pretty special honor. And so I just want to point that out. At this time, I'm going to read off each student athlete's name. When I read off your name, if you could come up. We have individual state champions in this group as well, and I'll acknowledge those as they come up. Natalia Acevedo. Sanja Bejoy. Sophia Bird. Anya Dogra. Quinn Hawksworth. Lauren Jakulich. Lauren is a two-double state champion. Isabella Jansen. Natalie Lane. Natalie was injured in our regional finals. She was our one singles player. Morgan McKenzie, she's a two-double state champion. Paige McKenzie, one-double state champion. Ryan Morey, one-double state champion. Harriet Ogilvie, three singles state champion. Amelia Paul. Haley Fifley. Ava Targrose. My apologies. And two singles state champion, Andrea Wong. Congratulations, girls. You did an awesome job representing Forest Hills Northern and the Forest Hills Public Schools. I appreciate the class and character you carried yourself with all year, and we greatly appreciate your representation. So thank you. One last thing I want to say is Steve Olson's the head coach. He couldn't be here tonight. He's assisted by Joe Rivera, Don Whitfield, and Steve Clem. These coaches all work tirelessly and give of themselves for our kids, and it's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is some of the best parts of being up here on the board, is getting to see all these student athletes come up and get awards for all their not only their athletic excellence, but also academic. I mean, you know, those GPAs and the academic All-American is pretty darn impressive. So congratulations to all of you. All right, up next we have the Judy Booley Perseverance in Action Award. And our Dr. Schubel is going to do this presentation for us.
First of all, before they leave, can you join me one more time in congratulating our young ladies in their accomplishments? And as Dr. Clausen said, it's not only an athletic accomplishment, but I do know their academic scores are amazing, so congratulations all around. Thank you, Jeremy, for the warm welcome this evening to our community, and thank you for all you do for our district, especially all of the commencement ceremonies that you run so efficiently, and they run beautifully. So thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. Tonight is a special night as we honor some incredible human beings, those who have made a profound impact on our students, their colleagues, families, and community. first award this evening is called the Judy Booley Perseverance Award. Judy, are you here with us this evening? He was going to try to make it. I just wanted to make sure I acknowledged her if she was able to make it. So thank you, Judy. We will reach out to you. The Judy Booley Perseverance Award was created in 2016 by the staff at Central Woodlands 5-6 School to honor their school counselor. Judy, the award is presented annually to a Forest Hills Public Schools employee or group of individuals who in their job performance demonstrate Judy's attributes such as resiliency, perseverance. During the 15-16 school year, Judy faced personal and professional challenges on her road to physical and emotional recovery following a near-fatal automobile accident. Yet through it all, Judy's strengths, determination, and passion for her job and students helped her raise above her obstacles. Tonight, we'd like to honor the 2024 recipient of the Judy Booley Perseverance Award, the Forest Hills Eastern High School staff and students. Amy Pallo of Eastern High School is here, the principal of Eastern High School is here this evening to accept the award on behalf of all the students and staff. Amy, will you please join me? This year at Eastern High School, an unthinkable tragedy occurred in December when one of our dear students, Tessa Stanley, a high school senior, passed away unexpectedly in a horrific accident. In the days, weeks, and months that followed, the staff and students at Forest Hills Eastern High School persevered through the unthinkable. They supported one another, lifted each other up, and continued to shine Tessa's light and goodness everywhere. Tessa was loved by everyone. She had an amazing voice and stage presence. She had natural charisma and an incredible sense of humor. Theater and music were her passions. Words cannot do Tessa justice. To capture the profound impact she had on everyone, the Forest Hills Eastern High Senior Class of 2024 included a portion about Tessa in their senior video. Let's take a quick look at that.
Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood, hop a flight to Miami Beach or to Hollywood. But I'm taking a Greyhound on the Hudson River line. I'm in a New York state of mind. When the train will stop. Ba
As you can see from the video, Tessa's smile and her voice radiated everywhere she went. In the face of such profound loss, Eastern High School exemplified the true spirit of perseverance. In February, when she was to take the stage as Ursula in the school's production of The Little Mermaid, her teacher and her theater director stepped in to play the role of this based on the student encouragement. She stepped in and took over for Tessa. Eastern High School students and staff continued moving forward in everything they did, from choir concerts and athletic events to senior celebrations and cherished traditions. They found strength in coming together, honoring Tessa's memory in every aspect of their school life. The choir's performance resonated with Tessa's passion for music. Their voices carried her spirit. Senior celebrations became moments of reflection and joy as classmates shared stories of Tessa's impact. Through it all, Eastern High School demonstrated that even in the darkest times, the light of love and unity can shine us and guide us forward, a testament to Tessa's enduring legacy. Her choir director, Emily Blink, said one thing Tessa did was bring people together. Even today, she is just doing that. When we think of the word perseverance, Forest Hills Eastern's persevered through the darkest of times. Forest Hills Eastern staff and students continue to shine their light like Tessa and live like Tessa. There is no one more deserving of this award than Eastern High School students and staff. Please honor me. Please help me in honor this year's recipient of the Judy Booley Perseverance in Action Award and congratulate them. And Amy, can I have you come up and join me?
On behalf of the Eastern High School family, I just simply want to say thank you. Thank you to the board for your support always and for this wonderful honor. Thank you to everyone that supported us during this time. Particularly thank you to the Forest Hills community. You wrapped us in so much love and support, and we couldn't have navigated such a challenging time without that. So truly from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Congratulations to Eastern High School.
Thank you. All right, up next we have another award to give out, which is the Emden Guiding Principles in Action Award. And CJ, if you would do the honors.
Good evening. The Ben Emden Guiding Principles in Action Award is presented each year to those in our school community who have started a project of long-term benefit and have consistently demonstrated the district's guiding principles of respect, caring, collaboration, diversity, learning, trust, open communication, and high expectations over many years of service to our students, schools, and community. The award is named for Ben Emden, who served our district in many roles for nearly 40 years. Ben served Forest Hills in the 60s and 70s as a teacher, principal, and business manager, then later as a parent volunteer and school board member. During those years, he chaired or co-chaired every millage and bond election that Forest Hills put out, and all elections were successful, generating over $190 million of improvements in the district. He also was the president of the Board of Education for 5 years. In 2002, the district introduced its highest recognition award, the Ben Emden Guiding Principles in Action Award. And tonight, on behalf of the board, it is my privilege to announce the 2024 recipient of our district's highest honor, no stranger to this building, Mr. Dave Howard. This is the part where I would invite him to come up and receive this award. Unfortunately, he is not here. He is newly retired, a few days retired, and of course he is with students on one of his famous New York trips. Actually, he just messaged me they're coming back. He's in LaGuardia right now. He said he'd much rather be here. But he will be here to start summer stock tomorrow. But a little more on Dave. For 3 decades, Dave Howard, Mr. Howard, or to many of us just Howard, has been the driving
Matt Meyer, a teacher at Nat Forest Elementary School and someone who appeared in his shows at the early side of his tenure, said, and I quote, "The experience has helped me believe in myself. I made lifelong connections and saw the power of belonging." Dave has an incredible gift for making students feel like they belong, like they have value, like they are a part of something bigger than themselves. And his theater program was truly a place where confidence blossomed, acceptance flourished, and lifelong friendships were forged through great memories. To hear a little bit more, we have an excerpt from that 30th anniversary show from a former student, 2004 graduate, Spencer Wayne.
For 3 decades, Mr. Howard has been the heart and soul of our drama program here at Forest Hills Northern. And as he embarks on the next chapter of his journey, we reflect on the profound impact that he's had on our community. Howard's career as a drama teacher spans an impressive 30 years, during which he has not only taught various theater, English, and video production classes, but has also become a cornerstone of inspiration and guidance for generations of students. His dedication, passion, and commitment have transformed mere classrooms into sanctuaries of creativity and self-expression. His illustrious career, Mr. Howard has directed at least 80 productions, I don't know, probably more, about 4 a year for some of those years in there. You're crazy. Each one a testament to his vision and leadership. Through his tireless efforts, he has turned the stage into a place where dreams come true for kids, where students discover the magic of theater. And his productions have not only entertained audiences, but served as a platform for his students to showcase their talents and grow as performers. He provided leadership in the construction of this beautiful facility, and it also created a successful and rewarding Forest Hills Summer Stock Theater program, bringing together students from all 3 high schools, a new, broad sense of community that stretches past the borders of Northern, Central, or Eastern. Dave's impact extends far beyond the confines of the stage. He has been a pillar of support for his students, always going above and beyond the call of duty to ensure their success, whether it was organizing countless class trips to Chicago, New York City, Disney World, securing funding to create professional world-class productions. Dave has spared no effort in providing his students with opportunities that they will cherish for a lifetime. Howard's genius lay not in his own talents, but also in his ability to recognize and nurture the talents of others. But we celebrate the legacy he's leaving, a legacy of excellence, inspiration, and unwavering dedication. The drama program that Mr. Howard has built over the years stands the testament of his vision and leadership, with sold-out shows, community support, and professional quality productions that have enriched the lives of all who have been a part of it. To Dave Howard, we say thank you. Thank you for 30 years of dedication, passion, and commitment. Thank you for your kindness, your generosity, your humor, your unwavering support. As you embark on your next chapter, know that your legacy will live on in the hearts of your students and the parents of those students and in the halls of our schools. You will be dearly missed, but your influence will continue to inspire.
So as mentioned, Mr. Howard is not here to accept the award in person, but in true Dave Howard style, he still found out about this ahead of time, and he does have a message for us tonight.
All right, and I'd really like to thank the team that has worked together here for many years, many of us for 30 years together, like Jan and Jeremy, building sets, and they started when they were like 17 years old. Craig York, Paul Bolkins, Emily Blink, Jane in the ticket office here, costume people, many of them over the years. And of course, also, I need to thank my wife who, when our kids were little, was home as a single parent for most of October and November, taking care of my great kids and family while I could be here, or all of us could be here, taking care of the theater stuff for the Forest Hills Northern and Forest Hills Public Schools in Summerstock. So it's been a blessing. So originally I was going to be a DJ and decided that I wanted to make a difference. And I wanted to, I knew I always was good with kids and I was working with youth groups or whatever at church. But when I was hired in Forest Hills and I started building these relationships, I found out that that was my gift, is talking to kids, getting them involved, and trying to help them find their safe space and their home. So that is probably what I'm most proud of, is giving kids a place to be and to celebrate who they are, what they've done, and just most importantly, let them be them. So we recorded this a week ago, just so you know. But let me show you where we really are today.
Hey, FHPS, I'm here in New York City with the awesome students of Forest Hills Northern, Forest Hills Central, Forest Hills Eastern, and I want to just take a minute to thank you for this awesome award. It's been an honor and a privilege to be part of the Summer Stock program, and I look forward to more years doing Summer Stock. Thank you, Board of Ed. Thank you, administration at Forest Hills, for an awesome 33 years. Thanks so much.
We love you, Mr. Howard!
So to close this year's award, I would like to invite someone to the stage. The man for whom this award is named, Mr. Ben Emden, is here tonight. Mr. Emden, if you'd like to come up.
Thank you. Good to be here tonight, and wow, it's really amazing to see the kinds of things that Dave has done for our community and our kids over the years. And to be honest, I'm humbled to have my name associated with his and people like him who have received this award over the years. Great job, and what an amazing contribution Dave has made. I would also like to say congratulations to our retiring staff members tonight, and thank you on behalf of the community for everything you have done for our community and our kids for all the many years you have been here. This place doesn't function without you folks, and whether you're a teacher, an administrator, work in the cafeteria, drive a bus, on the maintenance staff, you all contribute to the success of this great school district, and I really would like to thank all of you. And then finally, I'd like to thank the board as well for their contribution and all of the time they put in and their hard work. Believe me, I know it is not easy to be a board member, and the community really appreciates the time and contributions you make. Thank you. And with that, see you next year.
And to close, it seems worthy to end with a Broadway reference that I think a lot of former students would say to Mr. Howard: because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Congratulations once again, Mr. Dave Howard.
All right, thank you very much. Now we're on to yet another highlight. June is a great month for a board meeting. We get to recognize all of the Forest Hills Public Schools retirees. And I know a number of them personally, so it's a sad night, but I'm very happy for them at the same time. We have our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources who is going to help read off the names of all of our wonderful staff who are retiring.
Do that. So we are going to recognize our retirees based on their years of service in ascending order. And we certainly wish them our best wishes for a healthy and happy retirement. I hope it is everything that all of you have dreamed of. So, with 1.5 years of service as a bus driver, Rose Antlis. With 4 years of service as our facilities director in operations, Stephen King. With 8 years of service, Diane Luke, who has been a custodian with the district. With 11 years of service, Sandra Reynolds as food service. With 13 years of service, Kim Josephson, instructional paraprofessional at Northern Trails. With 14 years of service, Steve Passano, principal at Central High School. With 14 years of service, Jan Van Arisdale, Director of Student Services. With 15 years of service, Kim Amsbury, paraprofessional at Knapp Forest. With 16 years of service, Michelle Wallace, English teacher at Central Middle School. Okay. 17 years of service as program coordinator in our child care program, Tony Britz. 18 years of service, Susan Voss, instructional paraprofessional at Collins Elementary. 19 years of service, Bob Engelsman, music teacher across our entire district. With 20 years of service, Jim Detman, who's been a bus driver and a bus trainer for us for many years. Also with 20 years of service, Mary Harvey, who's been a counselor in our district in a number of different buildings. 23 years of service, Teresa Sangster, school psychologist. 23 years of service, Wendy Zeidema, child care director. 24 years of service, Penny Lanning, 5th grade teacher at Central Woodlands. 24 years of service, Carol Lee, special education paraprofessional. 24 years of service, Monica Mikrut, media center clerk. With 25 years of service, Jim Cross, who has been a teacher across the district. 25 years of service, I believe I saw him, Ted Zarnecki. With 25 years of service, Kristen Topolinsky, also a teacher across the district. 26 years of service, Penny Beatty. With 26 years of service, Karen Kramer, teacher at Collins Elementary. With 26 years of service, Margaret Cray, who's been a bus driver for many, many years. Also with 26 years of service, Paul Newmeyer, math teacher at Northern High School. With 26 years of service, Lila Pursley, teacher at Pine Ridge Elementary. With 26 and a half years of service, Sherry Scott, head secretary at Central Woodlands. With 27 years of service, Steve Lebenz, history teacher at Central High School. With 27 years of service, Jeff Kuhn, science teacher at Northern Hills Middle School. 28 years of service, Renee Stayhauer, teacher at Orchard View Elementary. 29 years of service, Cal Anderson, teacher at Central High School. Also with 29 years of service, Kathleen Deverin, English teacher at Eastern High School. With also 29 years of service, Nicole Lemkuhl, physical education teacher at Orchard View, Mosbury Side. Also with 29 years years of service, Francine Walters, Media Materials Clerk at Ada Elementary. 29 years of service, Connie Fauble, Child Care Aide. With 29 and a half years of service, Amy Guchis, teacher at Central Woodlands. With 30 years of service, Becky Bolins, Media Materials Clerk at Central Woodlands. Also with 30 years of service, Mark Deppy, Science Teacher at Central Middle School. 30 years of service, Ken George, English Language Arts teacher at Central High School. 30 years of service, Harry Kuhn, English Language Arts teacher at Northern Hills Middle. 31 years of service, Sue Gutierrez, principal at Northern Trails. With 32 years of service, Sarah Bohr, school social worker. With 32 years of service, Steve Harvey, assistant principal at Northern High School. Also with 32 years, Holly Peterman Gomez, lifeguard. Also 32 years of service, Bill Godin, third grade teacher at Meadowbrook. 33 years of service, Kathy Hennick, science teacher at Eastern Middle School. Dave Howard, we know, is not here, but Dave had 33 years of service with the district as a teacher at Northern High School. Also with 33 years of service, Rosemary Whalen, math teacher at Central High School. 34 years of service, Mary Sewing, head secretary at Eastern Middle School. With 34 and a half years of service, Kurt Cantrell, who's been our head of grounds. 37 years of service, we're getting way up there. John Westfall, who's been in our maintenance department. 38 years of service, Leslie Gerst, first grade teacher at Pine Ridge. With 38 years of service, Penny Koenigschnitt, teacher at Central Woodlands. Oh, I'm sorry. Peggy, excuse me. With 44 years of service, Jackie DeYoung, school psychologist. And with 48 years of service, John Swart, our head of maintenance and operations. John's not here tonight, but we certainly congratulate him. 48 years is above and beyond the call of duty. Thank you to all of our retirees for their years of service. They make the operation of the district and fulfilling our mission to students possible. And thank you for families for being here with your retirees to support them. Best wishes for a wonderful retirement.
All right, we're going to take a brief, 10-minute recess, so anybody who would like to committee and congratulate the retirees may go ahead and do so now. We'll be back in 10. I could please have a motion to consider the consent grouping.
I motion to consider consent grouping 6A, 6B, D.
And do we have a second?
That was rough. You don't do that often.
I will second.
Thank you. Are there any items on that that a board member would like to pull out for special consideration? Okay, then let's turn it over to Dr. Michaud for a finance report, please.
Certainly. We had another busy month in finance, and we'll try to get through things expeditiously tonight. We started with some discussion of the budget item. We don't have financials to review in our packet this month because of the timing of this meeting, but we will meet later this month to look at an amendment, our final amendment for this year's budget as well as next year's budget. Bond construction updates, or check-in briefly. Ada Vista and Pine Ridge are ongoing. The Eastern Middle School entrance has commenced. As a reminder to everyone, the Knapp Street entrance to Eastern Middle School is closed for the summer, and that work is expected through next spring. The paving projects are already underway. I drove through Pass Central on my way here, and that's already torn up. So those are happening throughout the district. Forest Hills Northern and Eastern Athletics, which we'll talk more about later, are about to begin this summer. The Aquatic Center is entering the drafting phase, the rendering phase, so we got to look at a couple of very rough, very initial actual drawings of where things could be spaced or sized. So that's moving along, and Central High School as well has some initial drawings for the first floor. So many, many projects moving ahead. A brief update as well related to the cell tower or the connectivity problem over at Forest Hills Eastern Middle and High School. A lot of work has happened over the last couple of months to learn more. Only a brief update right now, and that is that Tower Ventures, who was representing Verizon in this offer, or the initial thing that they put forward, has retracted sort of their offer for partnership. So that is no longer a potential avenue. It doesn't mean that cell service is not the ultimate answer out there or something. It just means we have to go back and continue to gather more information. So more to come on the months ahead. It is still a priority, still a problem that needs solving. In terms of action items for us tonight, there are quite a few. A number of curriculum items that I'll let Mrs. Tryon describe in more detail. But in terms of costs, there is consumable materials for special ed math from for the Number Worlds program for an amount not to exceed $52,400. That's coming out of our ESSER 3 equalization. There's also MLL materials, a number of things involved with that. Total package not to exceed $180,000. That is split a little bit between the ESSER 3 formula and our general fund. And final, we have K through 2 Spanish immersion decodable books. We approved a lot of general ed decodable books, and we have them now coming to us for the Spanish immersion program, amount not to exceed $30,200 out of that Section 35J grant. And then a number of annual items for us. A couple of Power School items. One is our kind of annual renewal for the large platform of services that the district utilizes, that we've used for a long time. Renewing that for another year at a cost not to exceed $207,818 out of the general fund. And then an upgrade on the e-finance portion of Power School. The support for the current version that we're using is ending, so this is sort of a required upgrade for us, as well as moving it to cloud hosting. So that's a discounted package rate at a cost not to exceed $30,250 out of our general fund. Next annual item is internet. We're in part of a 3-year contract that began in July of 2023. So there's no price increase at all from last year. So that's the same cost, not to exceed $34,000 for the year in the general fund. Next is a recommendation to renew our Incident IQ help desk and inventory software. This is our ticketing system for IT problems and solutions. Also adding on a self-service password change component to this to make that process go easy or more easy. Amount not to exceed $35,390 out of the general fund. Food Service Management Company. This goes out to bid every 3 years, and the recommendation is to continue with Chartwells, who was the sole bidder for our bid this year. This will be a 1-year contract with an option to renew up to 4 years. We'll recall our food service program is a self-supporting financial program. And so the cost breakdown for the Chartwells Group is an administrative fee of $175,394, which is about a 5% increase from last year, and then a per meal management fee of $0.0568, which is an increase of about a quarter of 1 cent per meal from last year. Again, all out of the food service fund. Also out of the food service fund will be some new and replacement kitchen equipment from Stafford Smith. We, as often, we do need to spend down our food service account. And so this equipment will go to Ada Vista and Meadowbrook. It is very similar to the new equipment that went to Collins and Pine Ridge and Thornapple in the last year. So Sourcewell Purchasing Co-op, as we do, for a cost not to exceed $154,354. And then our bond construction at Northern and Eastern. We have the official bid info coming to us tonight. A lot of information in the packet that we saw. Starting with Northern, this is for the new auxiliary turf field in the bowl across from the middle school there. 12 bid categories, 45 total bids. The recommendation is for the low bidder in all categories, except for category 6, which was the metals category. The low bid was retracted because it was incomplete. Otherwise, the total cost for approval is $4,589,960, which includes everything, contingency, conditions, allowances, and this is about $1 million under the original projected budget. So this is obviously coming out of capital projects. Work set to begin in July to complete about next year, spring, summer. And then over at Eastern, similar story, multi-stage master site plan that we have seen. The first phase is relocating the baseball and softball fields. So this is 14 different bid categories, 52 bids. Recommending, again, the low bidders in all of them except for the same metals category, as that low bidder didn't have the necessary certifications to actually perform that work. So the next low bidder is being recommended. Amount not to exceed $8,686,454, which is also under the original projected budget for this project. Capital projects, again, starts this July and optimistically done pending winter weather in time for next spring seasons out there is the idea. So we'll see, but both of those are going to take place this summer. Next, we have the resolution to ratify for the refunding of the 2014 bonds. We've talked about this many times. In March, we were able to authorize refunding the bonds for an aggregate $20,500,000 of the remaining 2014 bonds to pay those off in 2025 instead of 2029, saving our community taxpayers an aggregate $890,000. So you saw the language in our packet again, just to ratify that. Next is our annual request for paper that is used throughout the district for all purposes. We participate in the REMC statewide purchasing co-op for all of this, and for the cost not to exceed $160,000, similar or the same number for last year. And then finally, just a few refunded property taxes, $364.28 to Cascade Charter, and $158,155.38 to Kent County. That's all.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Michelle? All right, we will now move on for a curriculum update from Mrs. Tryon.
All right, let's see if I can see my paper here. We had an incredibly short meeting this month. It was the last day of school. We did not have our curriculum highlight, instructional highlight from anybody in the district. So we just talked about a couple things tonight in the consent grouping. If you'll remember from last month, we are going to be approving materials for multi-language learners. The 6-year online license for English 3D and Read 180, and that will be used with our K-12 students. Also voting to approve the UFly Foundations, the University of Florida Literacy Institute for grades K-6. We will vote to approve the Trails to Wellness for our district, again, to be used in grades K-6. And then also approval of decodable Spanish books. I love to read in Spanish for our K-2 students. And then also number worlds, which are consumable materials that that will be used with some of our resource students. We are going to put up for a 30-day review, or monthly review, Killers of the Flower Moon by David Gran, to be used at Eastern High School in their new AP seminar class. That is for grades 10 through 12. That will actually turn into more of like a 2-month review, since we don't meet again until August. And then we talked a little bit about the district's work in their new district continuous improvement teams, which will be a group of people to facilitate improving student outcomes, talking about new programs that are being implemented and are they working and what would make them work better or what's working really well. They'll collaborate with a consultant from the ISD on those teams. And then also just talked a little bit about a new committee on AI the district is forming with the help of the Michigan Association of Secondary School Principals, just working on coming up with a belief statement on what the district will do with AI in terms of student use, teacher use, how we make that work, and leverage the power of that for our district. That was the meeting, short and sweet.
Terrific, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mrs. Tryon? All right, then could we please have a roll call vote? Madam Secretary.
Yes. Dr. Michaud.
Yes.
Ms. Neinmeyer.
Yes.
Ms. DeBoer.
Yes.
Ms. Covell.
Yes.
Dr. Fawcett.
Yes.
Mrs. Tryon, yes.
All right, thank you. We are up to informational items. Again, a reminder, if you'd like to speak at public comment, please fill out a comment card. They will be picked up after the superintendent's report. But first, we have some informational items.
We have I'm sorry, I'm looking at the retired, but the resignations, right? But I'm sorry, I was looking at the resolutions beforehand, the human resource ones. That's where I was at back. Trying to go back to resignations. We have some resignations this year. We have several teachers. Bryce Grover from Eastern High. We have Courtney Cudman from Itinerant Staff and Student Services. Christopher Start, who's teacher at Central High. Grace Steins, teacher at Central High. And Lynn Stymos, teacher at Central Middle. And Kristen Washburn, teacher at Collins. And Kristen and I, when we were talking, Dr. Fawcett and I were talking, she said, why would someone resign? And I said, well, typically they'll do versus retirement. And I said, typically, if they're of age or a number of years of service to retire, they'll retire. They'll resign if they're going to another position, moving out of state, or going to another district. Typically, it's to get an administrative position of some sort. So that's the difference between a resignation and a retirement.
Thank you. All right, the superintendent's report.
Absolutely. It's the end of the school year. And it went incredibly smooth. We had lots of student celebrations in all of the buildings. And aside from the gas leak at Thornapple, everything went really smooth. So even with the evacuation there, that went, they were a model example of evacuating their building. So it went great. We had, my celebration is to make sure that all of our students get home safely that day and make sure that they have a smooth summer, and I'm confident that they will, and there's a lot of summer learning that's going to go on. Today we had our last administrative meeting, and we also celebrated all of their collective achievements and the highs and lows of the years, all the little things and the big things that we needed to celebrate and really step back and reflect on the good work that they've done this year. I want to thank the board for the trust you placed in me this year in being your interim superintendent. I think my letter that I sent out to staff says it all. It's gone by extremely quickly. I talked about, it felt like, the days are long, but the years are short. My parents used to say that to me all the time. And, but this year has really flown by, and it's been an incredibly rewarding and challenging year for me, both professionally and personally. And I thank you for the trust you placed in me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are up to board communications. Does anyone have board communications?
I would just say, I know that we have one more meeting with Sarah, but this is our final regular meeting of the Board of Education. So I just wanted to make sure that I took a second to thank Dr. Schubel for jumping into such a huge job Forest Hills is. You went above and beyond to tackle some really big projects for us, in addition to just the tremendous work of running this district day to day and what that takes. And I think that you have certainly been more than a placeholder interim superintendent, and we really appreciate that. I think you've put our district in a really good spot to welcome our new superintendent, for him to be able to hit the ground running in July with a lot of things already taken care of. And I've heard from so many people throughout the year that work in the district that your leadership has been incredibly intentional and thoughtful and unwavering, and they're just very thankful that they have been able to work under you for this year. So I really appreciate that you were willing to step in for us this year and to help us out. I know that many of us feel the same way. So just thank you for putting us in a really good place for July 1.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Are there any other board communications? Okay, then we are going to move on to public comments. We welcome members of the community to address the board. When you are called, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address, and address your comments to the board. Per established procedures, we will not respond to questions or interact with the speaker during public comment. Everyone who indicates that they would like follow-up from the district will get follow-up from the appropriate administrator. If I call your name and you have changed your mind about speaking, you may say pass. Up first, we have Emily Van Root. I couldn't make out that last letter.
Van Roy.
Van Roy. Okay, sorry.
I didn't know I'd be first. Goodness. So, hello. I am an employee at Forest Hills. I drive a school bus, Bus 10. This is my 6th year of driving, and it's been quite a learning experience. It's a crazy job, like it really is. I have up to 75 children that I transport, and I'm one adult. And in years as they've been going by, like, kids are definitely needing more management for behavior, and it's challenging, I'm not gonna lie. And not everybody can do it, you know. It does take a special individual to do that job or want to do it. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I chose my route, Bus 10, so I drove the same kids to school. Like, after COVID in 2020, I almost was like, I can't do this. But then in my heart, I just felt like I need to do this because kids need a staple person in their life. I drive them to school, they see me in the morning, they see me in the afternoon. And we're like watchdogs. Like, if anything is off, we can detect it right away. And we're very good communicators that way. And anyway, it's a unique job. But so, at the end of the school year, these 4th graders, I had kids crying. You know, they knew that they wouldn't be on my bus next year, but I drove them since kindergarten, so that really that touched my heart. And they are the reason I do it. My number 1 job is being a mom. There's that little one over there. That being said, it's been very challenging. I really did not want to do this, but there's been a lot of issues around transportation. And the truth is, if I just want to cut to the chase, we don't make enough. It's a national issue, yes, but it's compounded here by various other reasons. And I have to thank the community for really helping us. I mean, we got a raise. That was like a huge endeavor. And I really am grateful for that. That raise disqualified me from getting food benefits. So I'm low poverty, you know, low income poverty levels. I had food stamps and Medicaid. That's how I got through, and the help of my parents. But I don't know how other people do it. I mean, they don't, I think. I know that we can work in other departments such as food service and playground, but I can't do that personally. But making makes $12 an hour anymore, no offense. So, the cost of living in Grand Rapids, I mean, just to even be kind of comfortable, I think it's like $55,000, a little bit more. I've looked into this, I've looked at the numbers. So, I can't afford to do this job anymore, that's the honest truth. So, I'm a full-time driver, but I don't make enough. So anyway.
Appreciate it.
My recommendation is to set the bar really high.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's an honor. You'll find me at 6860 Cascade Road. This speech represents my views only and not any affiliated organization. In today's special board meeting, I established that 6 members of this board exhibited fiscal incompetence by amending an already agreed upon contract to throw $12,000 of taxpayer money at Dr. Schubel because it made you feel good. I'm very glad that you felt good, but did this action do good? Consider the following. An entry-level bus driver makes $21.63 per hour. You could have hired a bus driver to work 555 hours with that money, or you could have hired 10 bus drivers to work for 55.5 hours. That's almost 2 weeks worth of wages for 10 bus drivers, enough to start fixing the busing shortage and problems. Now, consider example number 2. My child's school is already begging us to buy school supplies. A school supply kit costs between $61 and $107. That $12,000 could have bought between 112 and 196 school supply kits. Recall that I and everyone else in this room have already paid taxes for you to use to support the teachers. You are hurting the poorest families in this district by making them double dip and being unsupportive of the teachers by your wanton spending habits. Finally, consider, through oversight and neglect, funding for student enrichment activities such as Odyssey of the Mind was allowed to lapse on your watch, and in a panic, you funded it for a year. In 6 months, are you going to come back to your taxpayer piggy bank for more money to support students when you already had plenty of money in your hands to spend less than a month ago? You could have supported your transportation staff. You could have supported your teachers. You could have supported the poorest constituents of this district. You could have supported the students, but you didn't. It is clear to me that a board that focuses selfishly on feeling good rather than sucking it up and making decisions that will actually do good is a board that will ultimately destroy the school district on the taxpayer's dime. And you will do it sedated and happy every step of the way. Good day to you.
Thank you. Doug Lee. Doug Lee.
My name is Doug Lee, and I live at 52nd Street. I just counted before I came here. This is my 37th school board meeting since COVID. Okay? I've been here for 37 times listening to this board rubber stamp what administration gives you. At no point in time in 37 meetings have we talked about academic standards. We talk about safe places and how can you make kids, but we don't set them up for this future to be successful. We are worried about building buildings, building bricks, providing the facade to make you feel good, but at no point in time do you actually bring up academic standards. No, nowhere. In 37 meetings, it's never come up. You don't talk about the grades, you don't talk about test scores on MI school board, you don't talk about the 69 percentile that we rate in math and science on 11th graders. You don't talk about that. All we do is build new buildings, and we are not preparing our kids for the future. You're preparing kids for mediocrity. Want to be safe. Do you remember last year's school board meeting, we had 2 students come up here and they said they were disgruntled because we were getting rid of the GLI program, only to be renamed it as the SEL program. And they said, we don't care about history. What we care about is how we feel about each other. That's what 2 seniors said last year. It's the same thing this year. We are not teaching education, we are talking feelings. That's not going to prepare our students for the future. You need to take the time and do like because I've been here many years ago when Washburn was here. So I have the unique opportunity to see the before and after. I've seen the degradation in our academics in the school. The board under Washburn put academics first, and it was priority one of that school board. You have negated the responsibility given to you in this community as school board members. You need to take education first. Once you focus on that, then everything else will come into play. But that needs to become the priority. We are losing students. I asked you before that you need to set up an advisory board to find out why are we losing students in a growing area. Nothing's been done there. I know why, but you need to find out why. You need to set up this task force and find out, hire a consultant, why are students leaving. You cannot accept the fact that people are having less babies is the reason we're losing students. All the private schools, parochial schools, and charter schools are growing. Forest Hills is declining. We are on a decline. We are building buildings, we are building beautiful buildings, and we have shrinking enrollment. You gave out a tremendous amount of retirees, and very few of those retirees actually were here. That was very disturbing. Some of these 30-year employees, it's celebrating. They've been here for 30 years supporting.
Thank you. Robin Vanderjagt.
Good evening, Board. Robin Vanderjagt, Cascade Township. I'm here today to follow up on an email sent to each individual board member at the conclusion of last month's Board of Ed meeting. I had just found out that according to the American Library Association, it's the school board that is legally responsible for the resources in the school library. And since it services minors, consideration must take into account the students' ages and their social and emotional development. Considering this, we all know there is reading material on our shelves containing vivid descriptions of horrific sex crimes forced upon minor children, pedophilia, incest, rape, sodomy, along with the author referencing our black friends in the audience as niggers, coons, our gay friends as faggots, bitches, school staff as retarded hoes, motherfuckers, cunt buckets, etc. Our public libraries catalog this book only in the adult section, not teens or young adult for good reason. I've been passionate about safeguarding the students from the detrimental effects of this age-inappropriate library material, so I set about gathering opinions from experts who deal with the troubling effects that this has on young minds. These included a former high school counselor at Forest Hills, a local licensed sex therapist, a retired former Kent County assistant prosecutor who has represented many sexually abused children, and their unanimous consensus was that this material does not belong on high school library shelves. These authorities all care deeply about our young people. So after gathering their input, I had a desire to hear from each individual board member to ask, what position do you take on this matter? Is this acceptable material to be put before our young teens? I found out that only one board member found this material inappropriate for the age of our students. 3 board members believed it appropriate to remain on the shelves, and 3 board members refused to answer. Parents have no idea what is found on the shelves. Right or wrong, parents naively expect that you have their backs on protecting our kiddos, and I would like to see their trust rewarded. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Kevin Lipke.
My name is Kevin Lipke. I live at 4900 Streamside Point, Ada, Michigan. Good evening. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight. Again, my name is Kevin Lipke, and I'm a 1991 graduate of Forest Hill Central High School. I first moved to the district in 1987. I met my wife at Forest Hill Central High School. She is now a teacher at Forest Hill Central High School and has been since 1998. My oldest daughter graduated from Forest Hill Central High School in 2021. My middle child is currently a senior at Forest Hill Central High School, and my youngest is a freshman at Forest Hill Central High School. We have a long history and intimate knowledge of the Forest Hills School District. I bring this up because in all of the years we have lived here, I've never had to speak in front of the school board. I've always been proud of attending and having my children attend FHC, even though I may have disagreed with certain aspects of the curriculum or decisions made by the board and administration. I felt that ultimately it was in the best interest of the community and school district. However, that has changed. A little over 2 years ago, my child was put on a, quote, kill list by another student. We were made aware of this and immediately met with the principal at Central Woodlands. We were told at the time there would be little that we could do because the student had an IEP and was protected by regulations out of our control. We created a plan to make sure that my child would not have interactions with the students, but being in a small building, it was next to impossible. I appreciated the efforts of the Central Woodlands and eventually middle school staff, but they were tasked with an unrealistic plan and expectation. Recently, we heard of another situation with the same student involving another child. This was not the first incident since my daughter's, quote, kill list, unquote, moment, but it was a very serious incident and continues to show dangerous behavior by the student, behavior that has followed the student since kindergarten. My concern is, when is enough enough? What has to happen to another student before we act in a more meaningful, diligent manner? At what point do we take into consideration the student body collective, the impact these situations have on them, instead of constantly defending the actions of one individual? When is my daughter's safety and classroom learning environment taken into consideration? What has to happen next? I ask tonight that this matter is looked into further and steps are taken to protect the student body. There are many concerned parents, but they are rightfully nervous about the optics of speaking up and the potential repercussions. We want to make sure that this is addressed before another student is impacted. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Rebecca Lipke.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Lipke. Yes, I'm his wife. I just finished my 26th year teaching math at Forest Hills Central High School. I'm a Ranger through and through. I've grown up here, married my high school sweetheart, not only returned here to work, but purposefully to have our own kids go to school here because we believe so strongly in the quality of the education that Forest Hills can provide them. I have coached, advised the National Honor Society, directed plays, advised clubs, and am a class advisor. I absolutely love everything about Forest Hills Central High School, and I will do everything that I can to keep the caliber of the education and the quality of the relationships that we strive to provide here as high as possible. However, I'm here tonight because I feel like the very fabric of this quality of education that my child should be receiving is being ruined. Ruined by fear. Fear that one of her classmates will at any time and in any place have an unpredictable, violent episode and hurt another friend of hers. I'm here because I have no idea where to turn for help. The situation that our daughter and her classmates are dealing with is not only stressful for them, but it is stressful for the staff members who are in charge of making sure that this student and all students receive the highest quality learning opportunities available. We staff can't teach our content and be engaging to our students when we ourselves have to be worried about unpredictable and violent outbursts, both verbal and physical, in our classes or hallways or restrooms. The lingering fear of knowing that a student is capable of this type of assault is already weighing on the minds of students and teachers as the student heads into the high school next year. I am personally so frustrated with the fact that I even have to get up here in front of you and request for you to have a plan to keep my daughter and her classmates safe at school. That is supposed to be the right of all kids, not just those protected by an IEP. It seems to me like being protected by the American Disabilities Act is a free ticket to get away with anything for some kids. And I did not realize what that actually meant until we experienced it for ourselves. We feel like we're in a hopeless situation. In light of the Oxford shooting and so many other violent events in schools in the past few years, we feel like it is time for people to take charge of our schools and to look at different ways to handle these situations so that we're not caught off guard by another attack, just to only once again look back and say, yep, the signs were there, we all saw it, and no one did anything. I'm here to tell you the signs are there. This behavior has been documented in and out of school since before this child was in kindergarten. The behaviors are not getting better, they're getting more violent. Please, we beg you to reconsider this situation and do a threat assessment to make sure he is in the right position.
Thank you, appreciate it. Tom Nemchuk. You can begin.
Okay. Thank you. Tom Nemchuk, my information's on file. Time for our annual performance review for Forest Hills Public Schools. On page 1 of the presentation you're receiving is the student count trend for Forest Hills Public Schools, all grades, all students. As you can see, the student population has decreased 10.5% over the last 10 years, from over 10,133 down to 9,072 in the last year. I think this was mentioned in an earlier conversation. The next page, page 2, shows revenues and expenditures. In the last 5 years, revenues and expenditures have increased by 25.2%. It seems odd considering the number of students in the district has decreased dramatically over the last 10 years. So where are these students going? Page 3. Resident students enrolled elsewhere has increased from 636 to 1,028, up 61.6% over the last 10 years. As you can see on this slide also, the number of non-resident students has remained around 1,000 each year. So we're backfilling with students from out of district into Forest Hills, but still losing students every single year. Page 5 is proficiency on the SAT scores, 11th grade. This is math, which I believe has almost recovered in the last 5 years, but it's been pretty much steady at around 80% proficiency. Oops, I'm sorry, I think I missed a page. That was English, reading in English, I'm sorry. Math was the previous page, which has recovered almost 5 years ago to 70% in math proficiency. So I guess this is just a reflection. I did the same presentation last year. The Michigan Schools.org is the website. That is the official site of the state of Michigan for performance metrics for schools. If you would like to look at these and review these, there are other metrics in there that I wanted to include, but I want to keep this short because I know my time is limited. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Anya Korkinen? Anya?
Evening. Thanks, Board. Angie Folkening, Cascade Springs. We have had a very successful time at Forest Hills. We have 3 children. One is now currently going to Michigan State. We have 2 children. One's going to be a senior, and we have another that's going to be a freshman this year. I am here tonight because my youngest son was physically assaulted by an individual with an IEP. my son also has an IEP. It was at school at the end of the day, and my son has a heart condition. He's wearing a heart monitor, goes to see a cardiologist. He takes 4 blood thinners every day indefinitely for the rest of his life. He is not able to have contact sports. He has to get checks every 6 months, and this has been something that's been going on since he was 9. He had Kawasaki disease. This was not a lifelong threatening thing. This had just happened. And he has coronary arteries that could burst at any moment, leading him into a heart attack. He has an IEP. Student who attacked him has an IEP and sent him into the emergency room. His cardiologist assured me that had he been given the extra blood thinner that he was prescribed the week after that had happened, that he would be in the intensive care. I am here tonight because of this dangerous individual who attends our schools. All the red flags are there. This is the individual who has had, since preschool, kindergarten, has had threatened multiple children, and something has got to be done. And it can't just be passing the buck. This child has an escort. What is he going to do in high school? He has all the signs of another Oxford, and there frankly just needs to be something done about this. I'm scared, I am terrified, not just for my child, but for every student that goes to this school. I have another student that goes to this school. There are other friends of his. This child is a threat, and it needs to be looked into. That's all I have. I just wanted to say thank you, and I want to address the letter that we sent last week.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nick Krill.
Nick Brill. I'll make this brief. At the previous meeting, I pointed out that you gave raving reviews of Dr. Schubel for her performance throughout the year, and gave her, another $12,000 that she maybe overlooked. But I pointed out that a year ago, when you were making the decision to hire her, there was concerns about the fact that she did not have a transportation department at East Grand Rapids that she had to manage. And we have transportation department issues here in Forest Hills. And not once this year did she go over to any of the transportation department meetings. And I find it maybe just coincidental, I don't know, you decide, but all of the transportation staff who retired, not a single one of them was here to receive your award tonight. And I think that speaks to Emily's point earlier, that they feel undervalued and underappreciated. Hopefully, the new superintendent will take this seriously, but you got transportation issues, you guys gotta fix them. You overlooked it a year ago, you've allowed another year of neglect to happen. Don't make the same mistakes again. And also, I just wanna point out, we've been asking you to live stream these meetings for 3 years. Jeremy Cox was bragging about the hundreds of live streamed events that have happened this last year, just on the other side of those doors over there. So the technology's there. The decision is yours as school board members. I don't care if somebody's telling you, oh, we can't do it. You guys are in charge. Every one of these district employees works for you. The community has been demanding live stream meetings. Make it happen. The technology's there. It's not going to cost you anything. In fact, it'd probably make Jeremy's life easier not having to set up everything out here if we were just all in there. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, public comments are closed. The board thanks you for your input, and the appropriate district representative will follow up with all who requested follow-up. Is there any other business before the board this evening? All right, hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.